Alright peeps, welcome back to Wee Trees. You join us for a mad old map tour. We've got Leaf Coat zipping out to the mines as we speak, mining up some of that precious scrap metal, taking it back to the big old Wee Tree district. That's the far one, the bigger one. The nearer one is the old historic Wee Tree district. That's where our leafy coats started off on this map. They quickly emigrated down there, and then they rebuilt, bigger and better than ever, the old Wee Tree district. Now there's the brief history. Now we get to dive into some of the absolute majesticness that is the Leaf Coats. Look at that mad old beaver statue sitting there. Now unfortunately, we aren't majestic Leaf Coats. We can't get through these doors, we're too lanky. However, we've got mad beaver haulers who are going to be zipping their way back, dude. I absolutely love this map, like. Well, let's start while we're up here at the old historic Wee Tree district. And Divney, worry about the flooding. By the time we get round to it, it will have settled right down. But anyway, we're going to go and see the beavers having a bit of a swim in the lovely little bloody Pates pool here. You know, this is a tall pool because if we have a jump out on the big sign, we've got the signature cupcake icon for the tall pool. Well, for 15 grilled chestnuts a pop, it's well worth it. The Leaf Coats absolutely adore it. And I suppose while we're here, we may as well start getting on about our mad water system that we got on this map. So all of this was all natural. All we done was plonk a little bit of dynamite in here and allow the water to go scooting all the way down the tier system here, which we're not going to dive into too much because that's part of the big old Wee Tree district. What are you having to think about, Mr. Farmer Coat, pal? Were you thinking about all of the dandelions that you've got to keep up kept? Oh, this is a grand old place, like. You've got... Wow! What kind of bloody cupcake didn't put a path back in here? Well, that was uncalled for, MiGly. Get that bloody sorted. And then we can continue our bloody adventure down. Past... Oh, that's right. Oh, I used to love this spot. Past the floodgate that's set to 0.95 that allows water to go all the way down there. And it was fine until we removed the overhangs from over here. And then, you know, water just pished down here. So we've got a fancy pants carved levee on the gun. Look at that fancy lad right there. I do love all of the fountains, like. We went wild with the fountains over here. Oh, and here's our big waterfall. Entering the map. Sometimes it goes over all the edges. Sometimes it just goes over a couple of them. You know, it's a dynamic map like that. But speaking of dynamic things, look at this. Automatically pausing and unpausing tribute to ingenuity. Whenever those big batteries on the tree get all the way down, it pauses itself up. And how this bad lad actually receives power is through the back there, it then dips all the way underneath, going parallel under here, and connecting into the old Wee Tree, which is where we have our big fermenter knocking about and all. Our big fancy bridges. Oh, I forgot about the big fancy bridges that lead into the district centre. Hello, pal. Are yous all running up and down the old Wee Tree, are yous? I don't mind that I fell down because we can check out another one of these fancy bridges. Oh, look, we got a bloody beaver getting their tail painted and everything. Oh, and can we make it up here? Because if we can, oh, so close. I'm making it up. It's going to be my mission. Oh, I'm already up. Not a massive mission, but I definitely want to get up here and see if I float about with the beavers and that. Oh, the beavers have all clocked off, having fun. And they're going straight home. No, they're not. We're going to experience a beaver flying with me. Oh, no, this is the place to be in Wee Trees. Well, this and up there. But we'll get there, we'll get there. Oh, this is mint. I didn't even realise there was a light here. They're absolutely gleaming. But anywho, apart from a fancy little mud baths run the back here, which you have to, if you're a beaver anyway, you have to go up an hour. This is all for old Wee Tree. We swiftly transition to big old Wee Tree and their bloody big old fancy baths. Now I may have came back here so we can see an old Wee Tree in the mud baths. But we are truly in big old wee tree territory here. So we built this baths as an incentive for our beavers, so they would go ahead and fill that entire lake down there, which you can just see if we have a hippity hop. And of course, we got beaver statues overlooking the place. And I do recall here, I just need to rub my head and then I get round the other side. But that is also a 15 grilled chestnut cupcake tall paw. Well, there's another view of the glory that is the old wee tree. Now let's, without further ado, properly go and explore the big old wee tree district. I mean, as you can see, it's that big. It ends up covering multiple bloody trees over here. But let's just have a bit of an adventure. We'll just follow our lovely piney sappy forest track over here. It'll lead us, if we skirt our way around, through to the oak plantation. And if we go to the oak plantation, we find the monument, where we have braziers, we have full-on leaf coats, and all different types of trees knocking about. Well, I say all different types of trees. Those of you that know the leaf coats already know that leaf coats have got bloody willows and eucalyptus trees, which we farm sometimes in the water here, sometimes next to the fancy gardens, but always within range of a fancy pants pruning flag. This is exactly how Wee Trees operates. And MiGly, mate! What on earth were you doing in the last episode? I know why you deleted this path. I don't know why you didn't replop it though. For the second and hopefully last time during this bloody tour, we're going to be fixing paths. Well, with that path now fully fixed, let's get us. Oh, hello, beaver! You're pruning the tree! Getting the bark stripped off it! Why, yay! Let's head back out to a scarecrow here, because where our scarecrow is. Go on, let us in. I knew it. Alright, this part of the tour is going to be underwater, and you can contemplate about that as much as you like. Because up here is where part of our irrigation system flows in and spins our fancy power dams. The old Leaf Coat exclusives. Now that power dam is one of 3. There's another 2 down here with this fast flowing water. So now we're making a fair dinkum bit of power off that. But we're also supplementing it with the big old wind turbines across the bottom floor of the industry here. The industry which I could potentially scoop me way into. Let's see if I can be a cheeky little beaver, get on top of our scarecrow, and then jump through the corner. I can! Well, this leads us bloody perfectly into our industry. So the floor beneath us is all power mills. As you can see there, they're slowly spinning around, producing power. Hello, beaver! That's a perfect time for a bit of an autosave. But they power the beautiful carousel that we've got cracking along here, which thanks to our absolutely ingenious unlike a leaf coat, I can't climb the ladders. I'm trapped down here, and I can't even get out to show you the bottom of the lake or anything. But not to worry, thanks to the magic of teleportation and watching where you're bloody stepping this time, I can show you our wonderful spiral staircase. Broken up into multiple sections. You can go up and straight the graft, or you can continue your journey up. If, you know, you're not a lanky cupcake. Like I say, if you're not a lanky cupcake, you come up here, and then you continue your journey. Once again, if you're not a lanky cupcake. And then like this hauler, you go down there, and try and get up into here, and get ruined in the bloody carousel. Look at the bloody beaver, having the time of his life there. Oh, I love this because it's right over the grinder here. So if you want to be risky, you can sit on the outside. But if you want to play it safe, you sit on the inside here. This industry has got loads of little hidden power bits. It's got absolutely loads of industry knocking about on it. It's got a handful of bonus big old wind turbines. And as you can see, these big old wind turbines do a fair dinkum job of keeping these box of roxes totally up in the sky. But anywho, let's depart from the industry via the bridge that connects us to the big old hoosing tree, which of course we can't really get in because we're lanky cupcakes. So I'll meet you at the top. So this storage tree is where our beavers sit and yawn to each other, while definitely not looking over the edge and seeing just how high up they are. Look at us, man, in our big green and blue ocean of leaf coat happiness. Don't worry, we'll be getting all of that round the corner in due time. For now, let's go through the biggest of the wee trees. So this is split up into 4 trees. We've got the big old storage tree. We've got the second big old storage tree. We've got the third liquid big old storage tree, apart from the top apparently where we keep shovels. Hello, Becca! I didn't expect to see you this bloody tour. It is nice to see you. To see you, nice. Well, anywho, let's crack on. Have a contemplate, if the beaver wasn't already up there, about how we're gonna just continue this tour. Nice and smooth like. And I reckon the easiest way is to say, "Sayonara beavers, I forgot to press space, but I think I did land." I did and then jumped off. The big old wee tree district centre. Actually, no. I landed on the wet ash labours. So we've got our 3 wet ash labours here with 3 tanks integrated, automatically filling thanks to the wee tree's capillaries. And you can see on the left of the biggest, of wee trees, that's where all the beavers live. Oh, more beavers! Get your horses down the tree! All the different bridges. I love this. They go for like 3 or 4 different bridges depending on where they want to get to. Look at the whole as busy at work. Anyway, let's get straight in to the big old wee tree district centre. Connected by not 1, not 2, but 3 zip lines. Going all over the shop. So let's hippity hop our way up into the tree. And you know what? While we're here, I've just remembered something. And do yees peeps remember what I'm remembering? If I can get there, I'll be able to actually ask yous. Oh, how we didn't make us take 3 years to get there. Let us in. Let us in. I know where the ladders are. I only want to go down. How have I made it so I can't get down? What type of bloody wee tree construction is this, MiGly? I suppose this is beaver-friendly wee tree construction, innit? Oh, I forgot about the roofs. Oh, the roofs with the busts on top. Oh, and look at the water level. Absolutely brimming. And there's a fair dinkum view of the old wee tree district and all. Well, we got loads of fancy pants connected roofs and that. This top zip line goes all the way over to the scrappers. And then this zip line over here, our most recent edition, goes all the way over to our bad water tree, which once again we'll get to, just like we'll get to this big old zip line's location. But not right now, because unfortunately, unlike beavers, we cannot get on the zip line and start zipping along. But anywho, back to the question. There's the industry. You can see we've got beavers coming in, getting their tails painted from the main tree there. Now, does anybody know what is behind these 2 ladders here? If you do, whip us a comment, because I'm genuinely curious who remembers, who was here, and who remembers what's behind those ladders. Oh, look at our beavers, I'll clock it off. Now, I believe I might have to escape out of this area, unless I can be a beaver legend and start hippity-hopping up the ladders. I will have to escape out of there, but we're straight back into our first beaver perspective, because we've got to get across this bridge and have ourselves a fully authentic hippity-hop round the corner beaver experience to check out our beaver plants. See, we're growing leaf coats over here. They get picked by the district centre here, and then they get zipped straight over to the old wee tree district. Or at least that's how it's supposed to work. But it turns out these beaver plants act like stranded beavers and get assigned to their physically closest district, which was big old wee tree. It's actually quite funny because the beavers would get born here, run up through the tree, across the zip line to the old wee tree district, down through the tree, and all the way back just to join the big old wee tree district. But we ended up sorting that out by popping in an intermediary district here, which basically just shuffles population over to there when these laddies are full. Now it's special. Oh, and look at what we got there! Right, I'm pausing it. We're having a hippity-hop adventure. Oh, not down into the river though! I don't know how I can get back up. Can I jump up through the canal? Now, let's just show you part of this underwater system. Yeah, well, underwater. We've got a sluice that feeds our bloody place. We've got another sluice that feeds another place. And if we have a jump up here, we've got platforms and another sluice, as you can see through there. Don't worry, we'll get into it properly. For now, I just need to try and get up. Oh, I can jump through the pool. Alright, I might actually be able to get up then in that case. Well, I've never experienced this angle. All the beavers just chilling on their backs from below. Alright, let's try and jump out of here. Oh, so very close. Well, after many fruitless attempts at trying to get up, I can't even jump up to the what? So you just have to give up, and then there you are. My whole thing was to get up into the little kiddie pool area and jump out, and it didn't work for like 5 minutes straight. But anywho, this is another 15 grilled chestnuts a pop tall park, where you get the fanciest of bloody gardens. And these are the very lakeside swimming pools that we wanted to get filled, which is why we built the upper height one as an incentive for beavers to fill the lake. Now yes, I know that makes perfect sense, so let's continue making perfect sense by diving up, back very closely to where we began. You remember when we hippity hopped all the way onto these trees here? And show you this irrigation system that we've got. Essentially, water and mangroves are planted, then water guns out out of these sluices. It fills up this water, which keeps all of this area green. Oh, we must have flooded for too long. Well, that's annoying. Oh, that is like a fairly consistent flood, to be fair. Alright, I'll accept that. I'll accept one tinge of deedness in our big sea of green. Look at that bloody orange bush over there. Anywho, back to the water system. Once it guns and fills all of that up, it ends up trickling down this little canal here. And then, once again, filling that up, going under the path and trickling down for this canal and under the water where we were to fill up this food-grown quadrant and the big lake. So, you know, I'd say it's a fair dinkum bloody water system, you know, and it walks a bloody treat. Better than me jumping through the trees, at least. Well, let's have ourselves a bit of a hippity-hop over the trees and see. The island with more trees on it. Oh, yeah, and the bad water tree, which is somewhat struggling to keep up. I'm sure that has nothing to do with the fact that there's a power shaft out the back that powers that spinny tribute ingenuity over there. Which, don't worry, we will be getting to very shortly once we go through our old island here. Now, this island all dried up and got contaminated, and it was no good at all. So we replanted all the oaks and made it impossible for a cupcake to jump up there, apparently. Oh, well, I've jumped up heaps of oaks in my time. Well, it turns out I needed the bloody high ground. And look at all of this stuff that I completely forgot about. Oh, I forgot about all of these hedges. I just plumped hedges wherever the bad water would contaminate the trees. Other than that, we've got big old mighty oaks all the way around. So this water system's kind of fun as well. It ends up going, you know, let's just show you. You've got your water source down here. That then hits all of these levees and this sluice, which keeps all the water outside on. But other than that, if it's a bad tide, these bottom flat top floodgates open. And if it's a good tide, these top flat top floodgates open, as well as this flat top floodgate over here, and allows water to just flow through and fill up our entire map. And, you know, kill some oaks while they're at it. But now that we're over here, we are very quickly encroaching on the end of the Wee Trees map to our... Oh, hello, beavers! Hello, beavers! Is it worth the 15 grilled chestnuts? Because look, this is a tall park, as you can see by the big old cupcake. Oh, look at the beavers hanging out, getting out of the buffs. Why are you facing that way? Oh, clearly didn't think of that when I was plopping these down, did I? But anywho, you get at least this bad lad fountain pouring water down onto you. You get the only place on the map to experience the buff of the Builder Monument / Labourer's Monument. And when we get a drought and the tide comes out, we end up with all of this area to swim in. And we've got clocks near all of these swimming holes, because, you know, it's a toll park. You pay your 15 grilled chestnuts, and that gets you 2 hours. After that, you need to get another bloody 15 grilled chestnuts out your pocket, or you need to get the blooming heck out of ya. But before we fully go ahead and... Oh, what? It's flooding even more now. You know what? It is what it is. Let's just let it happen. But before we fully end the tour, I've got to show you our fancy ribbon here. How good's the ribbon run the outside? It's made up of all of these fancy pants, curved levies here. And we continue the motif run the other side. Not that you can see very well because of our mighty oak forest that our leaf coats planted. And whenever we couldn't plant oaks, we planted green shrubbery, just so the leaf coats feel at home, no matter where they are in this forest. I do love the fancy staircase up here as well. It's an absolute corker. And I did say I'd show you the irrigation system, so let's strip the world away so you can see it. We have some irrigation down underneath the trees, well, down here. We have the big Auld Lake, which is connected via this bit sluice action, which when we were in the tunnels is what I was attempting to explain to you earlier. This system of sluiceries here is what keeps all of this food nice and green. Well, that, and I can't believe I nearly missed this. Oh, let's go up another layer. Or automated, or what our slurp has. But they pause and unpause automatically. Oh, what's happening? Hey, look at this. We get to see the big owl changing of the flooded and unflooded. Oh, it doesn't last long though. But it's always fun. And I did point out this fancy little garden earlier, but we do have other fancy little gardens knocking about here and there. You know, the leaf coats do love being in nature. Keeping their leafy coats all healthy. But like I say, I really can't take credit for this irrigation system. It's all I've done is block some of it off. Like up here, for example, I put some sluices in. So that if we go up another layer, there you go. You can see sluice is blocking it. And then I'm just redirecting all of that water down the side there. Permanently open sluice. And then blocking the water from going down by having a closed sluice here. But the actual irrigation system itself, minus all of this area, which is oddly square because it used to have overhangs on it, was actually just part of the map. It was a pretty darn cool irrigation system. Well, still is a pretty darn cool irrigation system. That only needed adapting because I went a bit wild with it. Let me quickly dive into this bit of the tour here, because guess who forgot to show off our big leaf coat happiness. Like I said, the shelter we'd expect because none of the old wee trees have shelter. Not doing bad on the apples, not, you know, the fancy apples are doing better than the apples. I mean, that's to be expected, to be fair, you know. We could be getting a bit more garden action. Don't worry about the plazas. That's just leaving more stuff for us to play with the next time we get the leaf coats out. And you can see 60 of our beavers have paid their 15 chestnuts to get into the lower park so they can get their Labour Monument boost. And you can see the 40 beavers that have got access to the wind tunnel and the mud pit now at the Old Wee Tree District. But anywho, back to the tour. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode of Wee Trees, giving it a mad owl tour. And I'm gonna take a leaf out of these coats books and have myself a fly far away, where we will one day return for more leafy coat action. But until then, toodaloo!